In this video, we're talking about how to select the perfect keywords to your app. There's a very simple 3-step process that I use with every app and every game on every platform. It's actually very simple, very replicable, and it doesn't matter if the app is brand new and has no installs or if has tens of millions of users. I've used the same process for all of these products. So the 3 steps to the process are: number 1, analyze all relevant keywords, and I'm going to show you how to do all of this in just a second. Number 2, select your top 20 keywords. And number 3, create the right sequence of keywords you put into your metadata. Very simple 3 steps. Let's walk through them right now. All right, so I'm using AppTweak as I mentioned before. If you have not seen the previous lessons, you can use any other tool for this. App Annie is another one, Sensor Tower. There's a lot of different options. My favorite is AppTweak, so I'll just walk you through with this. But again, you can use any tool that you want. So let's just pick one of these apps. We're gonna go with Deep, which is a breathwork app that hasn't really been worked on. So this is really good to show you how to choose the right keywords and metadata for an app that's not hasn't been updated in a while, so it really needs an update. So first of all, the first step of the process, if you remember the 3-step process, first step is analyze all relevant keywords. And so the question is, how do you find relevant keywords? Well, we find them using one of these tools. So I've already added competition to this app. So you need to know who your competition is. It's just basics of business. If you don't, do your research, please, right now. We already added the competition, so it's already in here. I'm not gonna go through all of it, but just find relevant competition for your business. And we're gonna jump into keywords inside app data. We don't have any keywords selected right now. And so what I do is I'm going to select all of the competition and I'm going to add all the keywords from the titles, subtitles, and descriptions. This is my favorite method for analyzing keywords, because if any keyword is in the title, subtitle, and description, it means it's important and the app is using it in their metadata. So you also need to be conscious of that. How big is your competition? If you're just starting out and there's an app that's been around for 10 years and they have 10,000 installs a day, you're not going to be able to compete at the same level with the keywords they have in the title and subtitle, but maybe some of the keywords from the description. So I'm going to add all of the keywords over here: title, subtitle, and description. That's, as you can see, all the metadata. We can also look for top installs, rank keywords, and a bunch of other ones. We have all of the apps selected. And we're not going to go through all of them. What I would do normally is go through the list and see which one of these could be relevant or important for our specific target market. Again, we are over here in the US on the iPhone. So if your app is on the Play Store, just choose the Play Store option. And if your target market is not US, choose the right market. But that's what we have right here that we're going to be using for this. You can also get ideas and generate lists and a whole bunch of other stuff. There are a lot of features in AppTweak, but I personally like to use just pick the ones from the competition. I think that's just the best way to do it. That's how I do it personally. There sometimes going to be keywords in different languages. In the US, there's a lot of Spanish keywords, which makes sense because a lot of people speak Spanish. I'm not going to add any of these at this moment. We're just going to close this for now and start looking at all the keywords. So we have 72 keywords, which is a good start for now. Again, we talked about the 2 most important numbers for looking at keywords. Is number 1, the volume, or how many people search for the keyword. And number 2 is the competition, how many apps are trying to compete. So we're going to organize this by volume. Now, this particular app has not been updated, hasn't been around for very long. There's no marketing, so not a lot of installs. And so we need to have pretty low volume keywords with low competition in order to be able to compete. Because if we try to go for some of the huge keywords, we're just not going to rank very high. And if you're number 38 for a keyword, it doesn't help. Nobody's installing apps from number 38. Ideally, you want to be in top 3. Top 3 is a really good place. Not a huge difference between 1 and 2, because when you open your App Store and Play Store, the first 2 apps are immediately visible, and then when you scroll, there's 3, 4, 5. Top 3 is really good. Top 2 is incredible. but that's kind of the process of where you need to be in the ranking. So what I like to do is I like to search by volume. Now, like I said, we are not going to be able to compete at the high volume. The difficulty is also high, as you can see for some of these. iTunes is actually, and so iTunes is not even relevant. You need to go through the keywords one by one and see which ones are relevant for your business and then choose that way. So what can we pick here? Let's see. Breathe is a keyword that's actually, it's very relevant, breath work. We're going to select this one. So starring it just means that it's one of my favorites. We want to select a number of favorites, 20, that are the best, that we can later use in placing the right keywords in the right place. So that's a really good one. Breathe is a misspelling, but as you can see, it has a really high volume actually. It's quite surprising. And the competition is actually the high difficulty. That's interesting. We'll select that one as well. This might actually be a title of an app as well, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Anxiety is very high. Difficulties also quite high, to be honest. Brand, sound, exercise. Breathing exercise, high volume, the traffic. I'm going to select this one. That one looks good. Breath work is a brand name. And difficulty is actually quite low because it's, as you can see, it's not spelled out fully. It's just we'll select it. That's a good one. Not relevant. Breath, that could be relevant. We'll use that one. Breathing, relevant. What else? Mindful, not relevant. Method, practice. If it's together with, you can also add separate keywords here. So if you do breath practice, for example, we're going to be able to see that, well, there's almost no traffic, number 5. So we don't care about that one. What else do we have here? Breath work, very low difficulty. Again, like I said, sometimes there are bugs on any software because these are estimates. They're not actually direct data from Apple and Google because they don't share this kind of data. I don't think the difficulty is one that seems too easy, to be honest, but I'll still select it. I just don't believe it's number 1. The volume is actually pretty good. What else can be relevant for us? Background sound, meditation. And these keywords are just super low. If it's 5, that's basically 0 or none. That we don't care about that. Even here in guidance, it says it's an indication between 5 to 100. So 5 is actually the lowest number. We're not going to go below there. So the keyword list is not big enough right now. I want to get about 20 keywords, and right now we have not starred 20 keywords. We only have a couple. So we want to need to get some more suggestions and get some more ranking. So we can also generate a list, but I'm going to go back in here and see if we can find other keywords. I'm going to analyze all of these. They're the top installs that the apps are getting. Rank keywords. Get all the keywords that these app rank number 1 for. All right, we'll select all the keywords that all the competition ranks as number 1 on. That's actually a good list. I'll also do the number 2 and 3 because we are looking for long tail keywords. Again, we won't be able to attack anything very huge. So I'm going to generate a bigger list, 150 keywords right now in total. And I'm going to organize it by volume. Actually, we're going to go from the lowest. And I'm just going to delete all the ones that are up to number, well, I'm going to delete them manually, but we'll just skip the ones that have a volume of 5 and look at some of these that have much smaller volume than the top ones, but still good enough for us. So meditations, That's interesting. We're not going to choose that one. This keyword means breath work, but it's obviously not spelled out fully, but it's actually got some traffic. Not a lot, but a few. So that might be a good one. I breathe, relax, and breathe. That's a brand name. That's why it has some traffic. Breathwork, Wim Hof. This is very specific. People are looking for the Wim Hof breathing app. I'm not gonna use that one, but maybe let's select this one. So over here, as you can see, it's not in English. I assumed it's in Spanish, although I don't speak Spanish, but we're going to choose that one as well. Yoga depression. This is interesting. So some of these apps rank number 1 for the keyword yoga depression. Now, this would be something to consider. What if you think your app could, obviously people, I would assume that people that are depressed and are looking for yoga exercise to help them feel better, look up this keyword. Now, you need to decide whether or not a keyword is relevant and important for your audience. In this case, I'd actually say it is relevant because breath work can have very good effects on mental health. And the app that we're talking about here is breath work. So I'm going to actually select this one. The competition is very low on this. So this could be interesting. If we believe that our product helps people, then this would be the right strategy over here. So breathe, watch. This is an interesting insight. Obviously, people are looking for an Apple Watch or a Google Watch app. And there's actually pretty good traffic, but low competition, low difficulty. So this could be also a strategic decision to inform you which features to build in the future. Breath app, breath timer, low difficulty, we're gonna go for that one. Heart rate variability training, not relevant for us. Wim Hof, this is all the brand names. What else is interesting? Breathe apnea, so this is about sleep, not really breath work. So I don't think this is relevant for us in this specific case. Pranayama, now this is a specific type of yogic breath, I believe it's yogic. If the app has exercises that are relevant to this practice, which it does, then it is relevant for us. Apnea trainer, apnea training. As you can see, there's a lot of different spelling and misspelling, but they all get pretty good volume. Again, for a new app, 11, which is a couple hundred installs, it's a decent start, right? So, breathing pacer, we'll select that one. Breath trainer exercise. Breath prana, again, different types of breathing technique. Select that one. People looking for a free version. Stop, breathe, blah, blah, meditating apps for moms. Again, this is not relevant for us. Meditation exercise in Spanish. Inner fire is a type of breathing. Inflammation workout. We're gonna actually select inner fire. This could be interesting. Inflammation, go deeper. What else do we have here? Breathe and relax. That could be relevant. Breath holding. Sounds like if you just want to hold your breath, you can use your phone clock, but we'll choose that one as well. 3 sleep meditation. That one is breathe, sleep. Pretty high traffic, to be honest. Pretty high competition, but we'll still select it. Tactical breather, breathe app. Othership, that's also competition. Actually, there's a breathwork app called Othership. Pretty good volume, low difficulty. We'll choose that one as well. Deep breathing, relevant. Breathe free. What else? I think this is a good start. Good start over here. Breathing app. I'm not using any of the keywords that have the word app in it because all of the apps automatically rank for the keyword app and you don't want to use the app keyword anywhere in your metadata. It doesn't actually help you with anything. So I'm ignoring all of these phrases that have the app in it. Meditation, what else? All right, so we have finished step number 1, which is selecting and analyzing all relevant keywords. Step number 2, pick the top 20. Let's do that right now. So inside our AppTweak account, we have looked at 158 keywords in total. Now clicked on all the starred keywords, and we have starred 25 keywords. So that's our list of relevant keywords. You can export them as CSV or export them into Google Sheets, which is what I did. And this is what it looks like inside the Google Sheet. As you can see, here we have the volume and difficulty, a few more rows that I cleaned up that were not relevant for us. But this is the list that we have right now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to copy all of these, export, and I will paste them into my little magic file. So let me explain this sheet. This is a very important sheet that I'm actually going to share with you for free, so you get to use it as well. Alrighty. So this sheet is what I use for all of my ASO metadata. Over here you can see the name, subtitle, keyword field, and description. So this is for iOS. There's also version for Android. And this is just a little tool that helps me, shows me how many characters I have, how many I have. So if I write a couple of characters, see, I can see that I've used up 16 characters, so 53% utilization, because there is a 30 character limit on the name. So this is where we're going to actually actively put in the keywords. I'm going to share this file with you in the resources of this lesson. You can just simply copy it and use it yourself. This saves you a lot of time. You're welcome. So let's look at the keywords that we have over here. I'm going to turn this around. So here I'm going to select a couple of keywords that I think are hyper relevant and realistic for us to rank on. So I'm going to organize the difficulty by the smallest one. And I'm going to start from here because this is a small app. It doesn't have a lot of traffic, doesn't have a lot of marketing budget. And so we're going to go very low on this one and then work ourselves up. Of course, again, if you have an app that has a lot of traffic, it already has some marketing, has some users coming in, you can choose a higher volume keywords and higher traffic because you have the power to compete. Right now, we have basically no power to compete. So we're going to start very low and generally build up from there. So breathing pacer is a fantastic keyword because it has no traffic and it's got some difficulty, some volume actually, which is really, really good. Breath trainer exercise, as this combination of 3 words has no difficulty. Other apps that rank very highly for the word breath or trainer or exercise, but these 3 together are actually a good combo. So the way I work, the process is I take keywords from here and I put them into this file that I showed you before that I'm going to share with you. And generally the practice is to put the brand name as the first keyword in the name. So the name of this app is Deep. So I'll put Deep, this character, and we've taken up 6 characters and now we have still 80% of the field to work with. So I think breathing pacer is a fantastic keyword. So I'm going to actually put that in here as the first one. And so this will be the strategically the most important keyword. I'll select capital letters over here just to make it look a bit nice and readable. So as you can see, we're at 20 characters, 67% utilization. So we could put another keyword in here that might work. Again, you need to think about the algorithm, but also how readable it is for the users. It needs to look nice, needs to make sense for the users as well from the psychological perspective, not just the algorithm. So that one we have, breath trainer. What else would be good? Breath work as a keyword like this. Let's see, breathing pacer and breath work. That's already too much. So breathwork doesn't fit. It's 1 character too much. That's a shame. So that's not gonna work. What other keyword? Breath timer, yoga depression, let's see. Timer might be a good keyword. We already have the keyword pacer, which means the same thing as a timer. So it may not look so good for the users, but it's good for the algorithm. What else do we want to use? Breathing, breath work, breath holding, deep breathing. Breathing and pacer. Exercise. So this is perfect. 30 characters, 100% utilization. Breathing, pacer, exercise. I think this makes sense. Deep breathing, pacer, exercise. Makes sense. It's human readable. It's optimized for the algorithm. So I think that's actually a pretty good title. I like that. So now for the subtitle, we're going to go back to the top, and all of these have already been filtered. They have some okay volume. Again, we're optimizing for difficulty because we don't have a lot of app power. If you have a lot of app power, you could optimize for volume. So high volume would be the place where you start looking. But we don't have a lot of power, so we're going strategically with low difficulty. Breathwork is a really good one. High volume, low difficulty. So I'm going to put breathwork. Breath is also a good keyword that we haven't used in here yet. Breath holding could be a good combination to put in there. This could be a good keyword. It's got high traffic, but it's a brand name, so I'm not going to use it in there. Breathing, we already have at the top. Breathe to relax, a brand name. Othership is a brand name. This is a misspelling. Deep is the name of the brand, so it actually works really well. Breath holding, I think that could be a good option. So breath work and breath holding. Let's see. We'll have a few characters left in here. 90% utilization is pretty good. Honestly, 3 characters left. There's not much we can do. We can't put in a keyword. So I think I'm actually pretty happy with this. So it's not always going to be 100%, but that is okay. And in the keyword field, I'm just going to stuff everything else that we haven't used that's on the list. That's pretty good. So actually, to make it a bit easier, I'm going to copy this and put it over here just so I can see everything. Left. All right. So we have used pacer, breath trainer, exercise. Put this in here. So like I was mentioning, the keyword field in the App Store doesn't consider spaces. You don't have to use spaces at all because this is not, the keyword field is not readable by humans. It's just for the algorithm. So it's not visible in your App Store anywhere. Nobody can see this, only you. And so you don't have to put spaces. You can just put commas between keywords because the algorithm doesn't consider. And this way you can add more keywords. If you remove all spaces, you have an extra 1 or 2 keywords, which is not a lot, but it definitely helps. And so we want to use everything that we have access to. So we have breath, trainer. Actually, we have already the keyword exercise in the title, so we don't have to use that one. We don't have the word trainer, it's great. Prana, that's a type of breathwork method. Prana. Breathe, do we have breathe? We don't have breathe like this. Actually, yeah, so breath is already in a subtitle, so we don't need that, but we'll put in breathe. We'll do the Spanish in there as well. If people are looking for it in Spanish, why not? In the US, it might help them. Breath work, we have breath timer. Put timer over here because we don't know the timer. Yoga depression, that could be relevant. Inner fire, relevant. What else? We don't have a watch version of this app, so I'm not going to put watch. We have breath work like this. We don't have that, so I'll put it in here. How many do we have? 92. Okay, so we can put 8 more characters. I think this is more than 8, isn't it? Let's see. This looks like a lot more. Yeah, way too many. So what could be? What else do we want to use here? Breath holding. We have holding, deep, relax. Actually, yeah, this misspelling version we don't have yet. There we go. 100 characters, 100% utilization. So this is it. This is the third and final process. We analyzed all relevant keywords. We picked top 20, and number 3, we did the we put them in the right sequence at the right order. This is what one update of ASO looks like. So as you can see, once you get into the flow, it doesn't take a lot of time. It could be 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 if you're doing a lot of research, but that's it. And so every time you do an ASO update, the ranking will be different. And so you'll be doing the same thing basically, but the different rank. Hopefully your app is progressing, you get more installs, you rank for higher and higher keywords, and you can target bigger and bigger keywords. But this is the general process that you go through. I did not put the description. The description is 4,000 characters. I created lessons for you specifically about the description. So I hope you have seen those lessons and you know how to write a good one. My favorite hack right now is to use AI to write a lot of it. And so what I would do is I'd simply copy this list of keywords that I have here, and I would give it to the AI and I would say, write an app description about a breathwork app, use all these important keywords, and I would add a bunch of features, a bunch of stuff that I would write myself, and let the AI spit out the rest of the description. It's quite simple. That's honestly good enough. And I would just make sure that the keywords are in there and the good frequency of those keywords, so they're repeated a couple times. Of course, it has to be human readable and look nice. But that's really all there is to it. So congratulations. Now you know how to analyze your keywords, pick the top 20, and how to create the right keyword sequence.